You may have heard of the agoras in ancient Greece, which were fora where citizens of of Athens gathered to deliberate on the issues of the day of all matters, economic, political, cultural, philosophical. But of course, us women and slaves were in that category of the excluded. So we felt that needed a bit of an upgrade. And given that all of us who are here are deeply concerned about the state of humanity, or rather the degradation of inhumanity and the devastating state of our beloved planet Earth, we felt it needed an upgrade into the Earth Agora, where we come together in circles as Earth citizens to deliberate, to share our highest possible dreams and manifest them, to heal our past, and in healing our past, to actively together co-create the future. That is why we wanted to end with an Earth Agora, where each one of your dreams and manifestations are presenced, so together we can look beyond TNR week at the future we wish to create and are creating.
And what better foundation, what better platform, constellation could we have dreamt for such an Earth Agora, for the Truth and Reconciliation week and work coming together, focusing on healing, doing the immense healing work, not only in this week, but throughout the year, now already in the third year, founded by Nilima and by Kirsten, coming together with the World Dream Day, initiated by our dear and great Osioma, this incredibly inspirational organization, inspiring agents of transformation around the world to live up to their higher dreams, coming together, the two institutions with Home for Humanity, our focus on enabling such agents of transformations in transformative processes to live up to the highest possibility, serving Earth, serving community, serving the higher selves in themselves. We are so delighted to be in these constellations. And as we begin, we go, as is the objective and is the process of all three of us, first inside, before we go towards our planet home.
So we begin with just a moment of connecting all of us together in the space, each of us from our homes, each of us from different parts of our beloved Mother Earth, each of us connecting our hearts with all those in our communities, all those in our countries, our continents. If we can be barefoot, perhaps take a moment to just take off your shoes or slippers and feel that piece of Mother Earth right under each of our feet. And imagine that there are tendrils, roots growing from under our feet, deep into the crust of Mother Earth and connecting with each other's. So wherever we are on Earth, through the roots growing through our feet, we are connected. And now, as citizens, deeply motivated by each of our passions and purposes, we connect our heart for the same letters that make the earth, make heart. And we imagine just rays of energy going out, pouring out in all directions, meeting each other's, expanding as they meet, as the power of this unstoppable movement of healing and co-creating the future grows on all continents. And we imagine our homes connecting with each other as the dream, the higher dream of the future, manifests exactly where we are, everywhere on Earth. and we open our eyes and greet each other as citizens of the magnificent planet Earth.
And our collective evocation of this Earth Agora travels. Now I take it on with a poetic meditation to all of us called Towards Earth Citizenship. And while the eyes are open again, you might decide to close them one more time. Expand your heart. Breathe like a mountain. Be the earth. Be mother to all life. Be paradise. Be birth. Be forest, ocean, desert, glacier, sky. Be human, monkey, elephant, be butterfly. Revolve around the sun, play universal melodies, become the cosmic sum, join infinite infinities. Now, let's return to earthly ground with gratitude to Gaia for the treasures found. Let's grow on earth our higher dreams. Yes, let us birth a future that redeems the past, the present, for all life. As caring citizens of Gaia, finally, we thrive.
Thank you, Osioma.
So beautiful, so beautiful. And now I join my voices, my many voices, as we all have many voices being brought forth from different times, different paces, different spaces. And so I join my voice, sharing the Dream Manifesto, but enhanced for the purposes of really bringing us into the awareness, into the energy, into the conviction that is Earth citizenship. The world belongs to those who dare to believe in the power, beauty, and brilliance of their dreams. Those who dare to mend a world unraveling at its seams. The world belongs to the dreamer and doer that lives within you and me. We build a better future when we are willing to let our best ideas roam free. Today, the world is calling upon us to become Earth citizens and dream ever so differently. Because the way we achieve our goals and dreams often impacts life seen and unseen. So let's come together and build better lives, better businesses, and better communities. Let's dream up a better world filled with brighter and endless possibilities. Let's dream up a more loving, whole, and peaceful Earth family. One day, we will awaken to find a world far greater than we ever knew because of the choices made each and every single day by me and you and you. We will awaken to a world made possible only because each of us took a stand, honoring the highest dreams on earth, sky, and land.
With that, we are almost ready to burst into song, and that's exactly what Tatiana will help us do. Tatiana Speed, the coordinator of Visioneers International. a transformative social change musician and healer, and a beloved associate and team member of Home for Humanity. Over to you, dear Tatiana.
This is so beautiful. And as we're speaking of dreams, this song is really about each of us taking our part in creating the change we want to see, igniting, catalyzing, being that force of good in the world. And this is called Ignite. The world is changing, the world's on fire. I want to do my part to inspire change. I want to make my home a sanctuary of love and peace and harmony, and be the change I want to see. The earth is my home, the earth is my mother. We will never have any other to help renew, rebuild, rebirth, a new way to be on earth. I want to ignite, catalyze, take flight, burn like the sun, dispelling the night. Help humanity find its way back home. I want to unite, stand and rise, shine bright, bring the truth into the light. Help humanity find its way back home. Come and dance, come and sing, come and pray, come and bring all you are and all you love. A new day is dawning, I feel it calling us to help rebirth, a new way to be on earth. I want to ignite, catalyze, take flight, burn like the sun, dispelling the night. Help humanity find its way back home. I want to unite, stand and rise, shine bright, bring the truth into the light. Help humanity find its way back home. Help humanity find its way back home.
Tatiana, that was pure magic. And it's a beautiful follow on because Ozioma shared her enhanced dream manifesto. And this, if I can share, was your manifesto of your commitment as Earth citizenship. So as we move next, let us define what we mean by Earth citizenship and what we mean by the higher dream so that we can step the next level in. So Alexander.
So what do we mean by Earth citizenship? We see, friends, 3 levels. Earth citizenship begins in here. We see inner Earth we are holding. It begins with the inner home of our humanity. It includes our care of the land on which we are living, our home, the family home, the home organization, the home community. That care is part of Earth citizenship, and it expands and moves to care for our dear Mother Earth, our earthly home. So from inner home to Earth home. And I invite you into a very simple poem and in 4 gestures to do together with me to integrate these levels of Earth citizenship. Earth is the body in we have been given. Earth is the land on which we are living. Earth is the planet, our home. Earth citizenship, the higher dream we jointly own.
And so an Earth citizen realizes that it is imperative to pursue the call of the heart, the deepest passion, that which burns, that which calls us forward, our life purpose, our soul's dream. And they realize that each and every single one of us, whoever we are, whatever age, whatever background, whatever culture, whatever circumstances, we are invaluable, a pearl in this necklace of creation of the future. And we begin right where we are with whatever we have in our own homes, our own communities, with that which calls us and is needing addressing in our context, with the values and riches and treasures of our own cultures, always keeping in mind our desire to serve the earth home. So from that inner home of our purpose to our communities and physical homes, serving always the earth home. And as we realize this, we come together in magnificent ways as we have in this TRW week and begin to rise towards the creation of an inclusive, just, regenerative, and joyful earth civilization, not just for human beings, but for humanity in unity with all life and in service to all life. And why does it require the higher dream in order to manifest exponentially our human potential?
And so when we talk about the higher dream, we become present to that there are a variety of different dreams that exist within us individually and collectively. And the higher dream is really about us being able to come together in service of a greater vision, a greater possibility that each and every single one of us play a part. And in that awareness and in the shifts in behaviors and the shifts in interactions, all of us begin to rise. And so the higher dream is not just about us attuning ourselves to a higher level and a higher order of possibility, individually and collectively. It's also about the realization that we are letting go of what no longer serves. We are beginning to do away with certain behaviors, certain ways of being and doing as well as knowing. And so as we do so, things begin to move from this linear, incremental approach to change to a radical, exponential shift and rise. And we release our bonds and our attachments to the old paradigm. And suddenly we begin to usher anew. And one key thing to remember is that what if that vision that we hold individually and collectively could be the essential component that can lift us up from the times that we currently are in, that feel as if they are dragging down and descending times. But this higher dream launches us into onto the on-ramp of exponentiality and transformation. And we unleash our potential in the process. And so when we talk about the higher dream, that's what we are talking about. Human potential, as well as collective potential from all living beings coming together in order to uplift and change and transform possibilities as we know it, as we feel it, as we see it, and as we are becoming it.
That is so exciting, Ozioma. So imagine if all of us with our individual highest dream could cohere around the potential, the exponential potential of a collective dream.
And talking about a collective dream, before we are going to share our stories, we want to take you on a short video journey, a journey where you see and are introduced to what we are calling the Humanity Charter, where thousands of agents of transformation from around the world articulated a collective higher dream for Earth citizenship, a collective higher dream for building an Earth civilization, which is the calling of our time. And with that, enjoy. And
we ask our dear team member and co-creator, Paulina, to share the Earth Charter, the Humanity Charter. Not yet. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Paulina. So with this inspiration of the Humanity Charter, speaking perhaps for many of us, the four of us, Osioma, Tatjana, Rama, and I, are going to share very briefly our stories, our aspiration, our journey towards embodiment and manifestation of what we call Earth citizenship, simply as an invitation for the Earth Agora that follows and that invites all of us to come in. So I'm invited to start, and I go. I take you briefly on a journey through my life and how I seek to embody and manifest what we call Earth citizenship. Let me begin in my teens, where I grew up in Germany, and I grew up with immense love for the earth, immense love for all its being and for the rich cultural diversity that I could experience. But I also grew up with immense pain that I could feel in the underground of my society and in the world deep trauma that is guiding and misguiding our societies. I grew in me, or it grew in me, a dream, a desire to become one day a healer. I wanted to become a doctor, which I never became. But my passion for healing was seeded in this time. In my 20s, when I studied not medical science, but economics, business, and social sciences, and where I worked and traveled in the US, in America, in Asia, in Europe, in South America, I learned and experienced ever more the collective trauma caused by colonialism, oppression and war, gender inequality, the destruction of the earth. And I could see how it is ingrained in our global systems, from economics to enterprise to the medical sciences to religions. And it was in that time that a dream in me was born, a dream which I called a new kind of campus, a new kind of educational format where we come together in order to heal ourselves and the planet, a whole person, a whole life, a whole systems perspective. Up to my 30s, where I focused on the creation then of education for transformation. And I took bachelor, masters, and PhDs on journeys to address the burning issues that each one was facing in his, her own context. And solutions were built on the unique voice of each person and of the unique knowledge and wisdom in each culture, everyone realizing the higher dream to participate. As an excursion, the word in my mother tongue, German, the word dream is translated to Traum. The word trauma is translated to trauma. So in a way, Traum, the dream, is embedded in the word trauma in my mother tongue. And I could see ever more that addressing the trauma within ourselves is a key to realizing one's higher dream. And that became increasingly my passion. We worked in an integral approach. And in this integral approach, we reconciled the perspective of nature, the ecological perspective, of culture, of science, of economics, of politics, and finally, and most importantly, of spirituality, the deepest values that each one of us is carrying. Then in my 40s happened a major shift. I realized that my work in the world, however important it might be, or I hoped it would be, was not complete if I couldn't embody it fully into my home. The 40s for me was a period of homecoming. And what happened in this time, in a way, was Yoma, using your term of the higher dream, came in, and we began to birth what we were calling home for humanity. Overnight, this theme emerged, and we saw how important it is that the very work we were doing in the world had to happen in our own and very home. In the last 20 years or 15 years, students of all ages, for all degrees, came to Home for Humanity, which started in France, in order to become or to evolve their own capacities to become agents of transformation. Another major shift happened in my 40s, the shift towards co-creation. I could see, and that was when the journey with Rama began and our co-foundation of Home for Humanity, that the inner and the outer, the inner home and the outer home, the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine, the East and the West, it had to come together in order to create the future. And that opened really the doors for what then became Home for Humanity. Then off into my 50s, because the dream is growing. Higher dreams are supposed to grow. They're not supposed to stay, but they're continuously expanding as we expand ourselves. The power of home, friends, is one thing in our studies of sustainable development, regenerative development, that we noticed everywhere, that people who delivered on the sustainability front were able to bring the very topic of sustainability into their own context, their own home. They began to embody this. This became the passion. And in the recent years, integral organizations that I worked with on all continents joined the Home for Humanity movie, and we developed what we call Homes for Humanity. And the one campus I once dreamt of when I was in my 20s now becomes an interconnected campus of organizations who provide practice grounds for the future coming together. We call it an Earth Campus. This is aspiration, but it's clearly in the making. And next week, friends, we are launching a course with 12 major Homes for Humanity on all continents. And the course is about unleashing the power of home for planetary regeneration. And I can see that Dao Taranike from Zimbabwe, who is the co-director on this course, is with us in this room. He and his wife transformed a simple rural homestead into a national role model and inspiration for Zimbabwe, showing the way out of abject poverty into a regenerative livelihood regeneration. That is the power of homes that we are holding all together. So in the future, the dream as it grows is all about civilization building, is about Earth citizenship. And we began manifesting this dream with a beautiful collective publication, which is called Pioneering Pathways. Our dear Paulina on the call has been the key coordinator, and the author is not one person, it's not two person, it's the Earth family, 88 people, including Osioma, including Tatiana, including Paulina, have come together from around the world, age 7 to 91, from all disciplines, from all continents, across borders, to add their own image and vision for the future, their own color, their unique voice in creating a new tapestry, in weaving the future together. That is the process we have been starting as a home, with homes, and now with Earth citizens from around the world to ultimately, and let me quote the final stanza from the poem I earlier read you, and with this I close. Let's grow on Earth our higher dreams. Yes, let us birth a future that redeems the past, the present, for all life. As caring citizens of Gaia, finally we thrive. And with this evocation of the higher dream, I hand over to our dear friend, Osioma.
Thank you so much. So we're talking about stories, and what I want to do is to share with you a little bit about my own journey, but for there to also be within my own journey encoded an invitation for you to look at your own awakenings. Because I truly believe that the seeds, those moments along our journey where we begin to kind of feel like something is sparking, those serve as the seeds that we then can plant in order to co-create that future, right? Co-create that desired reality that we know is already on its way. And so for me, when I think about Earth citizenship and when I feel into it, what I know is that none of us are living it perfectly. There are all areas and ways in which the current system does not necessarily facilitate or enable us to truly step into that. However, that does not mean that through each action and through each shift from within ourselves that we can't come together in service of that higher dream, action by action, shift by shift. So what I want to speak about is my first awakening into this realm of Earth citizenship and conceiving of it and feeling into it that way actually came when I was about 8 years old. I was born in Nigeria and I came to America. My father was a diplomat and we did the whole United Nations thing, and then soon found ourselves living in the Bronx. And the Bronx at the time was a very, very concrete environment, concrete jungle, if you will. However, those of you who might know the Bronx in New York City, there is a beautiful botanical garden. And when I was about 8 or 9 years old, my mother and I went to this celebration that we didn't know much about, but it was called Earth Day. And what I saw there was this beautiful experience of people coming together, celebrating, talking about dreams, talking about the hopes for what our world would be. And again, I'm 41 years old now. And so imagine this is decades and decades ago. And it wasn't as even urgent of a need, even though it always was. It wasn't spoken about as urgently. But that sense of unity, that sense of inspiration sparked within me an awareness that this conversation about our Earth, right? Our connection with this beautiful planet, this planet that we all inhabit together is so important. So that was my first awakening. And then the second awakening really happened when I was actually working as a vice president in corporate America. And someone, after I handed them this beautifully crafted business brief, looked at it and kind of said, huh, what a shame. And I thought, oh, maybe he doesn't like what I wrote. But he said to me, you know, you have the kind of mind that could actually be out helping the world solve some of our greatest problems. Too bad you're just helping X brand sell more phones. And I remember thinking to myself, huh, there's something there. And so I invite you to think about the moments in your life where someone might have spoken to you, or you may have engaged in a conversation where you began to think, huh, there's something there. There's something more about who I can be and the impact I can make and how I can rise and awaken from within to make a greater impact. And so that invitation, right, from the awakening of self and saying, wait a minute, there's something more here, really began to get legs and steam as I began to develop this concept that I awoke into World Dream Day. But when it comes to this paradigm of self, then kind of working on a local level and then booming it up to this larger, higher vision, I really had the opportunity to make that local difference when I actually moved back to a place I had grown up by called Newburgh, New York, which was at that time was called the murder capital of New York. And the city was strewn with garbage. And none of it, of course, was mine. But I felt this calling as an Earth citizen to say, wait a minute, if this garbage exists, what is my role? What is my responsibility in supporting, helping to clean it up? And so that's what we did over a series of about 2.5 years. Through a series of different engagements, we began to actively clean up the city. Not just within the confines of World Dream Day, but on a local level with the mayor, with every opportunity we had, until when we finally opened up a dream center in the community, we actually were able to clean up an abandoned lot and turn it into a beautiful dream garden. And so this idea of the awakening of self as an agent of transformation, to then looking about and saying, what are my local opportunities to actually make a difference? And how then can we contribute to connecting that to the larger global shift? And so what I want to do now is invite us actually into a reflection, a collective reflection, as we begin to think about who we are right now and what are the spaces and places in our local environment that we can actually step into Earth citizenship, and what is that collective impact that we can make. So I invite you now to close your eyes. I know you've been hearing a lot of words, but now we're going to close our eyes and we're going to center ourselves with a deep and cleansing breath in and out. And another breath in and out. And in the screen of our minds, we see a beautiful canvas on an easel. And on the canvas is this image of our home planet, planet Earth. And we see and marvel at how beautiful this image is. And as we look closer at our home planet, we begin to see that it looks like there is an emanation that is emerging from it, as if it is beginning to vibrate and shine. And you're wondering, what is it about this particular image of Earth? And what is creating that vibration, that shine, that glow? And as you look closer and closer into the canvas of planet Earth, our home, you feel that there is a force that is pulling you into the actual image itself. And suddenly you find yourself in one location where the action is happening, and you see people galvanized, activated in service of creating a more just, a more unified, a healthy, healed, whole planet. And you suddenly realize that you too are part of this activation. And what is it that you are doing? Begin to become aware of your own unique contribution in this emanation, this activation that is happening on planet Earth, that is transforming the way in which we live, the way in which we exist, and how we heal and whole our planet. Just take a moment now to reflect upon the way in which you are showing up and the actions that you are taking that contribute to the elevation of our home planet. And as you become aware of more and more of the shifts in behavior, the shifts in consciousness, how you are transforming from within, and how you are making a local difference that is creating a global impact, just get present to the most important shift that you made, that choice that changed everything, and that contributed to that exponential trajectory that we are on. And now I invite you to come as if you are coming back into that space, that environment where you first saw the canvas of our beautiful home planet, glowing and emanating, activated ever so beautifully. And I want you just to smile at this image with a deep sense of knowing that as an Earth citizen, you are playing your part. And now I invite you to open your eyes. And we're going to now move into more sharing and more connection of personal stories of awakenings and transformation and contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Ozioma. And let's just take a moment to share on the screen, if everyone could write what rose in you, what was that moment of choice, what was that momentum that came forward through Ozioma's powerful visualization, which speaks so much to where we are. And with that, I'll take over as I see you all writing in your words of what's in you now, what's moving, and we will be harvesting all of this in our collective sharing. So imagine if, as Alexander said in the pioneering pathways, we began just the very beginnings of what we dream of as an Earth book, where every Earth citizen visualizes this transformation on Earth, looks back upon their life, whatever age they are, whether they are 7 and starting off life, whether they've lived a long life, like our oldest contributor, Anne Bering, who's 92, and thinks of their contribution, the quantum shifts, and their key message, their key learning to share with others. And what I will do is, in sharing my life story, which was very much to do with the key theme of this week of Truth and Reconciliation, my passion for justice because of the profound injustices I saw everywhere around me growing up in India, like Nalima in Bombay, particularly. And my dream of knowing that it's possible for us to create a world of love and justice for all, that led me on a long journey. But that big moment came where I realized, so Ozioma, you really helped me to, to fixate on the two moments of the choices I made. And both choices happily were made out there and made so clear to me that I couldn't resist them. The first one was realizing that while I was completing my PhD on how to restore justice after genocide and violent conflict, and I was looking at conflicts on all continents around the world, I realized, oh, it starts in here. And the reason I was drawn to conflict and injustice out there was because I needed to begin in here. And that was such an unstoppable beginning. And I remember Cyril, who's with us, saying, what's happening, Rama, to you? You were an activist and now you're getting, you're looking inside. But that was unstoppable. And that changed everything. And several years later, when I went to work on conflict and peace building across the continent of Africa as an African conflict advisor, looking at different conflicts, the other big awakening that it's not through the established systems that exist, but it's through activating our human potential and our cultural potential and our own creativity. And I began then to see how in every community, in every country, in every culture that I went in the midst of crisis and the destruction of everything, the loss of hope on the face of it, people were turning inwards into their own humanity, igniting that higher potential, becoming angels of goodness, you could say, and then their creativity sparked out. And like the songs of the anti-apartheid movement, which made South Africa's apartheid a concern for every Earth citizen, like all of these movements which have made us feel one with others through art, I realized that actually that is it, the creative power of art and culture that can bring about change. And I discovered that the reason that I'd been so concerned about conflict is that if I deeply listened, as I always did to people, they became me and I became them. And I found my higher purpose was actually that, to simply become others and remind us all that we are one another. So very briefly, I wanted to bring to life a snippet, a tiny snippet of a few of the people on different continents who contributed their visions, their higher dreams to pioneering pathways. So I invite you, as you listen to this snippet, to travel with me. So we go together to these different parts of Mother Earth, and we step into the skin, as I will do, of each of them. And so we keep expanding our potential as we become each other. Ko au kokoe, ko au kokoe. I am you, you are me, we are one and the same. I am Pauline Tangiora, a Maori elder from Aotearoa, what you Westerners call New Zealand. I'm a Maori elder and peacemaker. And as an Earth citizen, I have worked to rebirth the Maori culture, which was almost destroyed by colonization. I have worked as a negotiator for peace with the government of New Zealand to settle the historic injustices. As an Indigenous elder, I have worked to reclaim our Indigenous people's rights in the Charter of Indigenous People's Rights. And as an Earth citizen, I have called for an end of war and an end of nuclear contamination. And I have gone to every part of the earth, from Iraq to Gaza, to Colombia, where there has been war, to call for peace. Because ko au kokoe, ko au kokoe, I am you, you are me, we are one and the same. Hello, hello, ekaro, ekaro. I am Anselma Dodo from Nigeria. I am a Benedictine monk, and my message to you is this. My weakness might be your strength. My strength might be your weakness. But when we interact, we discover who we are, and we are happy together. I am a Benedictine monk, And I was fortunate to discover from a small girl in the forest who gave me these herbs, the power of Mother Nature to heal us all. Because in the African forests, we do not have hospitals and medical doctors, but we have our ancient indigenous healing plants. And so we have created Pax Herbals, thanks to the herbal power of Mother Earth to heal us all. The largest laboratory for African indigenous medicine and African knowledge. Thank you and welcome. Okay. Voila. Hello, my friends. My name is Thais Corral. It is so good to be here with all of you. Welcome to Rio de Janeiro. My message is, you see, until we find the places to regenerate ourselves, until we find the power of each of our places on earth and create regenerative campi for a new kind of regenerative education, we cannot change the future. And this is what I am doing in Sinal, which means C for synchronicity, Na for innovation, and most important of all, my friends, we cannot create the future without alegria, Sinal, sincronicidade, inovação, alegria. And that brings us together around the world to learn from nature, to transform education and create a regenerative future. Obrigada. Je m'appelle Olia. My name is Olia. I am 7 years old. I live in France. We are shepherds and have an organic farm with sheep. And my message is, we have to change everything. Il faut recommencer à zéro et réorganiser tout. We must start from zero and reorganize everything. Thank you. So dear friends, that was just a few of the many, there were a few more continents I wanted to take us to, but in the interest of hearing your stories, I pause there. As Ozioma said, when each one of us steps forward into the power of our higher dream, they all cohere into this exquisite pattern that illuminates our earth in this darkening time. So with this, I turn to Tatiana. We started this part of the session with the beautiful film, bringing to life the Earth Charter. And Tatiana, you did something quite magical with the Earth Charter, which will be, and as Tatiana shares her song, what we want to ask you to do is if you could begin to think of the key question of our Earth Agora, that if we, each one of us, continued to manifest our higher dream of Earth citizenship, what will be the cumulative impact on myself, my inner home, on my community, my physical home, and for our shared Earth home? So as each one of us continues to manifest our higher dream of Earth citizenship, what will be the cumulative impact on my inner home, my home and community, and our Earth home? Tatiana, take it from there.
Wonderful. Yeah, so this song is called Earth Family, and it was indeed inspired by the Humanity Earth Charter that was created 2019 for International Peace Day by these two wonderful human beings. And this charter inspired me so deeply. It just expressed this collective vision for humanity so eloquently, so beautifully, and it was such a joy to take that document and turn it into something beautiful, to turn it into art, to turn it into song. And so I created a song, which you're about to hear, and I also created a video to go with it. And this video features some of the great leaders through our time, through history, who really did show humanity what is possible, who rose up out of impossible circumstances and demonstrated that we can indeed create change, that we can indeed shift the scales, that transformation, elevation, evolution is possible for us. And so I wanted to include some of those figures in this video. And there's also, you know, I wanted to include nature, and many of the change makers who are even on this call are in this video. So yeah, this is my kind of, my contribution to Earth citizenship is just using music as this tool for healing, transformation, and creating art that can lift us up. So please enjoy. This is Earth Family. Today we come together with a new vision for humanity, to co-create a united Earth family. And with this vision and our shared intuition, we have the potential to bring peace on Earth to fruition. We imagine a world where we take care of all of life. And with this intention, we become beacons of light. So let's join together in manifestation to bring about societal transformation. From the heart of humanity, we come together in unity to co-create a united Earth family. From the heart of humanity, we come together in unity to co-create a united Earth family. We come together to unite, we come together to ignite unity between all forms of life. I see the one in the all and the all in the one. Our hearts beat to the same drum. We come together for the fate of the earth. Every single one of us is needed to rebirth a new community, a new Earth family, a new reality and unity for all humanity. If we educate, we can innovate, create a blank slate for the world to co-create a new fate of societal change and renewal. Indigenous knowledge is a key, is a tool. From the heart of humanity, we come together in unity to co-create a united Earth family. From the heart of humanity, we come together in unity to co-create a united Earth family. United, 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 let's come together Earth family. United, 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 let's come together Earth family. We are co-creators, we are innovators, we are change makers, pioneers and trailblazers, paving a path for an inclusive civilization to arise, a regenerative future for all beings, all life. We nurture cultures of peace and integrity. We celebrate the beauty of our infinite diversity, and from every corner of the world, creative expression paves the way for a future of intimate connection. The leaders of today, the leaders of tomorrow, we have seeds to sow, visions to grow, places to go, and now we know it's time for unity to co-create a united Earth family. From the heart of humanity, we come together in unity to co-create a united Earth family. From the heart of humanity, we come together in unity to co-create a united Earth family.
Oh. Okay, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much, Tatiana. Just so amazing and so inspirational. So now we're going to get into a bit of reflection. I've already posted the question in the chat, but we're going to basically go into 3 minutes of just deep reflection and then sharing. Okay, and so the question again, just like Rama beautifully expressed, is what will be the impact of manifesting my higher dream of Earth citizenship on myself, so that inner home dimension, on my home, the community dimension, the system dimension, and then on our shared Earth home. And so if we can begin to flow through those different levels of impact, what is emerging for you? So just reflect, and then we're going to get into a round of sharing, and I'll mind the time. We have 3 minutes.
Thank you. And if I could add one sentence to that, as Nalima beautifully opened us the session, we're coming to the end of this period of the Truth and Reconciliation Week and looking into the future, into this world of darkness. So into that space, how can this session help us move beyond this week into the rest of our lives, thinking about that impact, connecting that impact? Thank you so much, Ozioma.
And connecting to the beautiful image of Ozioma, of the canva where we see the beaming world, you may also choose to draw an image to share in a couple of moments.
Music, but there's so much wisdom in this room, in this shared Earth home room, that we would love to turn over to you and ask, if we can, if we have the time, to ask each one of you to share briefly, and do write down also on the screen, on the chat, so we can share it and with everyone later. So who would like to start? I see Jean Fabre, the great voice of humanity. You are here with us. Would you like to start this round? You've been thinking about this for much time, and we request all of you to just introduce yourselves.
I've been dreaming for so long to reunite the human family. We are like people who ignore each other, who fight each other, who are distant from each other, and sometimes are so kind to each other. And my life commitment is really that, is to reunite the human family. And for that, I think that we have to also learn to listen to each other and to welcome each other. So that's what I'd like to share with everybody. There was a time when that was several decades ago, when I was somewhat younger, that someone created the World Citizen Movement. And at that time, there was not much talk about sustainability and ecology and all these things. There was a focus on people, but it was the beginning of the same thing. So let's all get together.
Thank you so much, Jean. You did not really introduce yourselves, but after a long career in the UN, while you were at the UN, you were also engaged in many, many citizen movements for societal transformation. That's a grotesque summary of your life, but it would be super if each one of you shared a little bit of some of the movements that you are life involved in.
You know, I started by studying physics, and I had one foot at the university where I was preparing my PhD, and one foot in the private sector. And in both places, they were presenting our research to the military for funding. And I said, I didn't come to this world to help kill more massively, more precisely, and more quickly. I came exactly what I said, to reunite the human family. So I quit and went to work for the International Fellowship of Reconciliation, traveled around the world with peace movements, supporting conscientious objectors, but also grassroots movements. And eventually, I was born in Paris, but I I was I became the head of a political party in Italy by chance because I was there, and I say by chance, yeah. I was working for peace. That was the time when we were marching against cruise missiles and the installation of military bases all around the place. And I was called into the army and I refused to go. So I was a conscientious objector. I went to jail for that. I was on trial with the military court, and I worked for the abolition of military courts in France. And military courts were abolished in 1982. So everything is possible. Everything is within reach of our hands. When I was in Italy, we were close to the International Year of the Child. And UNICEF announced that millions of children were going to die of hunger and poverty during that year. So we started a big campaign. We got together 120 Nobel Prize winners from all disciplines and launched a campaign against hunger. And as I was doing that, the UN came to fetch me. So that's how I ended at the UN.
Jean, thank you for sharing this rich citizenship journey. Looking on the time, actually, we got a bit carried away on our side, but we want to make sure that we get everyone briefly in and show your hands. Or
Yes.
I see.
I mean, one, it would be beautiful if everyone who's here who has the capacity to turn on your videos and who is willing to do so we can really be all together from around the world. And two, if you would, regardless what you want to say, write it into the chat screen so we can really savor your words beyond this time together. And ideally, if we can hear, do you think we can hear a little word from everyone?
I think we have the opportunity. We are going now, building on the inspiration of Jean, we go around, and how about we move to...
Would you like to wave or just we pick on you?
If not, Linda, how about you kick us off a very brief sharing in response to the question so we can go and travel the earth on the screen.
Oops,
Still muted.
Muted.
All right. Well, my greatest impact would be more love within myself, the ability to understand others, and of course, to understand people in my home, and to be able to translate that love into service for my community and for everyone I know, for mankind. So I think that would be like the biggest gift I could ever give back. And that would be the most impactful for myself. Thank you.
Beautiful, Linda. So Linda is a young peacemaker from Cameroon. Kristen, it's so lovely to see you. You managed to join us. So Kristen, the co-convener of this beautiful Truth and Reconciliation work. Welcome. We're just going around the room, so watch out. We may come to you to close the circle, asking the question which is typed on the screen. So with that, Sana, you have such a beautiful smile on your face, and we heard your voice. So that would be beautiful to hear you.
Thank you. I was just thinking about how Kristen invited me to come to this today and how important invitations are, and to make more invitations and to welcome people into the beauty of community and the love of and care of the earth. And yeah, I'm presently living in Switzerland. I'm half European, half Swedish, half American. And so I'm already bridging those different cultures. And my children are Swedish, American, Swiss, Italian. So I call them sassy. But I'm called in this sort of bridge building between cultures. And so I do some social artistry events and things here in Switzerland. And I love to co-create and collaborate events, bringing together business leaders, government leaders. I live in the capital city of Bern. artists are so important. I so appreciate your work. Do I say Rama? Is that, can I say that? Yes.
Yes.
And Tatiana, that was so moving, your music video and the voice that you have. So what I'm coming away with is just this inviting and welcoming and allowing more and more and more, because yeah, it's just in the giving that really, I think, moves people, you know, just the genuine, sincere, selfless giving that is the most touching and motivating as far as I'm concerned. Much love to you all. Thank you for inviting me, Kristen. Hi, Nelima.
Thank you, Sana. Let's see if we can do the magic of hearing every voice in the
Yes.
next 8 minutes. And if it's okay, we jump now to Lisa.
Well, let me say, well, just on a personal note, for myself, it was not so much about dreaming as about awakening. And, you know, I was very despondent when completing my first doctoral dissertation in the early 70s, which was really documenting the loss of our ability to know anything really, and our loss of the real. And then how a year later, in this complete wilderness in the mountains of Montana, I was alone for the first time among these great fir trees and by a little river I could drink from. And I came out at midnight and out, you know, working through the trees into an opening where there was the moon and the Pacific clouds crossing the moon. I saw that they were a language. It was a language that everything in nature, everyone in nature understood except me, because I was outside of this awesome majesty. And so it was so beautiful, it was terrifying. And I thought, how did people before the age of the bubble of electricity, how did they survive this? And then I looked to my left, and under one of the great fir trees, leaning against a big boulder, was a Native American man with a gray blanket. And, you know, they say images are the language of the soul. As soon as I saw that, as I saw him, I said, of course, they survived it because they knew they were related to it. And at that moment, I entered into the relationship. And that was a waking up to what was undeniably real. So, so I think I would say that a key to dreaming the future is to have a touchstone of what is real, and what is real in our own selves, in our own essential nature, in our hearts, and in our connection to all that is. You know, I've had for a long time an appreciation of a definition of authentic hope as distinct from vain wish. An authentic hope is the ability to actually perceive and manifest the possible. So Rama, no, it wasn't Rama, it was Ozuma who was in the Bronx, where there was the litter-strewn vacant lot. You know, that's current reality, but was able to see in that same lot the earth and the possibility of a community garden. That is really the power of imagination, which is really the vehicle of our hope. And what you're demonstrating to me today, and I want to carry this forward into the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly 4.7, which deals with education for global citizenship, is that the instrumental power there is imagination. It's our ability to actually perceive the possible. And so thank you for this incredible demonstration of how that works.
Gordon, thank you so much. And from the wilderness experience you shared, we're going to Kajsa, who is outdoors in Sweden. And let's see if we get a couple of more voices in before we moving towards closure. Kajsa, please.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Kajsa, and my higher dream for quite some years now is related to the healing of stress and trauma. And I spoke to someone just a few days ago, and I asked him, what's your dream? And he told me that he didn't know, and he can't feel his dream, and he just don't know, doesn't have a higher dream. And what I felt on my own journey, healing, doing a lot of healing from stress and trauma, is the sense of belonging on this earth, coming back from living in separation. The sense of vitality, having enough energy to actually pursue a higher dream, coming back. So my dream, my vision, and the impact, I think, that comes from healing the chronic stress and the trauma and the inflammation that comes from it, has the impact that more can join an Earth civilization movement and put into action what that person dreams of, to move towards that higher dream, which we all share.
Thank you, Kajsa. Let's have just a couple more, like Neela. And, you know, I saw Janaki, you've turned on your video. You're the one who has been working behind the scenes to pull it all together with such grace, such patience with all of us. So it would be great to hear you if you're ready to share. Would Neela like to go first, or would you like to go first? And then we will, yeah.
Sure. I am so grateful to be a part of this amazing gathering that Nilima, Kirsten, and their team have created. Actually, I live very close to when Ozion was speaking, I could see Newburgh. I live in Brewster, New York, and just the sheer joy of creating, and I have seen old Newburgh, and I didn't know you're part of it. And I teach in Long Island. So my dream, of course, as I wrote, let's try. So in my classroom, I'm a professor of English and Women and Gender Studies, and I study world religions, write a blog called Stand Under the Mother Principle. So the sheer joy and magic of life, which is available. And yesterday in my backyard, there was a little fawn that sat under our tree for 3 hours. And I thought, this is what we need to do. We need to sit under a tree like a little fawn, feeling completely safe and comfortable. And the big eyes and the innocence in that fawn. And I was watching the videos and the music in this amazing gathering at the end of this Truth and Reconciliation. I'm just filled with sheer gratitude. Thank you.
Wunderbar. The Shen Foundation is growing in numbers. Could we hear your dream and impact? And then we will close with Janaki. And of course, Kristen, if you feel ready, as a co-convener, Nilima started us off, you can close us, but we have a little surprise ending for you.
First, I should thank you, Rama, Alexander, Uziama, and Tatiana for this wonderful session. What I feel is this is the perfect ending of, I think, Truth and Reconciliation Week. So I am very much impressed by the words Earth citizen. So we are all Earth citizens. I'm not Indian citizen, you are not French, but we are all Earth citizens. So I'm very much impressed by this coining of words. So I'm always, my mind is thinking about those two words only. So we should think as we and not I. That is a thought, that is a message I got from this session. And my dream is I want to be more confident, and so that I can be more productive and I can help my home members and also people outside my house. So this is my manifestation of my dream.
Janaki, thank you. You brought it back to home. Earth citizenship starts at home. Kristen, you know, is there anyone else who would like to jump in? There are a couple more on the screen and not on screen. And if not, we turn it back to you, Kristen, and then we have a little collective closing.
Yes, I didn't hear the beginning of this session, and still having been part of the beginning of the dream of the Truth and Conciliation Week. It's also so important to share that. And I want to thank Nilima and also Kiran, who put in hours and hours, and of course Yanaki, and then we have had Juliana and others been helping this week. So that's really important. So I was thinking also about dream from different perspectives. I have noticed over the years collecting, asking people's dream, and how when in the right context that question is asked, the dreams are altruistic, they are whole, they are clear. And I think this is what we have to continue to do. In fact, the world depends on this. It depends on our dreams having safe places where they can be shared. And also, the very, very important part of this work on truth and reconciliation is that of the healing. So many of us have had abuse, perhaps, that made us even forget our dream, because the pain that happened as a consequence of speaking up or starting to live your dream was so horrible that you actually forgot it in your subconscious, that you even had that dream. So that's why this incredible work at the moment of healing, so we can find back to our home within ourselves, within our environment around us, is so important, because we are all connected. But sometimes we just forget for a little moment, we separate for a little moment, because the busyness of the pain inside is so strong that maybe it's not possible. And so I go always now with lots of compassion out to those that are aggressive, those that are manipulators, and still this wonderful understanding that our generosity is what we need, and that generosity comes with the boundary setting, that I know how to set boundaries for myself, so I am generous to me also, so that I can be with the earth. And then it's this thing of being in love. If I'm in love with nature, with her, the organizing principle of this earth, if I'm in love with her, I respect her faults, and I will take care of her because I love her. So we don't even need rules and SDGs and God knows what, if we just loved her and loved ourselves and each other, and if we could include each other. But the healing part is important. The coming back together, building bridges, working on ourselves so we can be inclusive of ourselves. And we know that we only see ourselves in the mirror of another, perhaps. And as that concentric circle extends, it also becomes in the mirror of nature, and so on and so forth. So I think this work, and all of you that have been part of it, whether it was 5 minutes or 5 hours or 50 hours or 500, it doesn't matter. Everybody was part of it, and it doesn't stop here. I spoke to someone yesterday who didn't come to anything, but who listened to this, they wrote something or read something, and she was sparked by the idea and started to reflect on things. So there are so many ways this work can trigger you or inspire you, so we can move together. And I think sharing also what Nilima's dream and Kiran's dream is to share and keep on working and share with so many others as we go on in our daily life. And thank you again, all of you, for coming, and Rama and Alexander for doing this session, and Nilima for being really a driver. This year, she had a couple of burned out people around her, so she had to do a lot more than the other years herself. But it's also part of helping each other in different times. One day, one of us is strong, but another in the community feels weak for one reason or another. And then we just help. The next time it could be the other person. So I think this generous understanding that we are part of the community is also expressed in so many different ways. So with that, I would like to, on behalf of Truth and Conciliation work, Truth and Reconciliation Week also, and Nilima and Kira, and of course, Yanaki and everybody has been working so hard. Thank all of you. Nilima, you want to add anything? Maybe, yeah.
Kristin, we're going to ask, thank you so much for that. Nilima, we're going to wait, come back to you in 3 minutes, but I wanted to ask Ozioma if there's a piece of wisdom from the point of view of the higher dream you would like to say on all that's been shared.
Yeah,
Yeah, based off of everything that everyone has expressed, I mean, what I feel present in the room and what it comes back to is actually what you see on that image, the heart, the love. And that when we connect, right, the love that we have for planet Earth, our home, the love that we have for each other, the love that becomes present essentially in settings like this, the love we truly have within us becomes present, and it lifts us up and lifts us collectively forward. And so for me, I would say that that is what has become so evident in this space and in this conversation. And then the invitation that every single action we take and the thoughts that we think are a reflection and manifestation and contribution of that love. And as we do so, we individually and collectively transform. And so I bring forth that issuance, which has been basically co-created by all of us in this moment and has been cultivated all this week through the Truth and Reconciliation Week. And now we are bringing it forward. So I feel this energy of love present, and that it is the galvanizing force that will help us truly step forward and lift our world and each other up into that space of the higher dream. The higher dream is the dream of love, unity, peace, togetherness, wholeness, and in a world that is so remarkable because we together are committed to making it so, to breathing it continuously into existence. And so that is what I feel. And so I'm just so happy and grateful that we're all here together, invoking and connecting to this energy and creating that emanation on our planet so that our planet can continue to be even more filled with this energy of love. It's all here.
So we weren't able to hear every single person, but we've managed to have all of you sharing on the screen or vocally. And let's see the magic we've created together.
So how about you open all your mic, and I want to build.
Tatiana is going to join you.
And Tatiana in particular, if you are ready. And we do a little collective harvest of this session with open mics. And there is a refrain which we're going to sing together. Gordon, you evoked imagination. And Neela, you said we need to move from I to we. So the refrain is we, imagination. We, imagination. Okay, I will start and you come in with the refrain. Let's rediscover ourselves. We, imagination. Translate love into service. We, imagination. Reunite the human family.
We, imagination.
Connection, confidence, altruism, generosity, healing.
We, imagination.
Enter into relationship.
We, imagination.
Living less in fear and move into flow.
We, imagination.
Patriarchy is over. Cyril.
We, imagination.
Rebuilding between cultures.
We,
imagination.
Truth and reconciliation.
We,
imagination.
Healing stress and trauma.
We, imagination.
Let's go for the magic and joy in life.
We,
imagination.
Once more reunite the human family.
We, imagination.
Together with Udioma, it's already all here.
It's already all here. We, imagination.
One heart, let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart, let's get together and in this higher dream. Oh, one love, one heart, one family. Singing one love, one heart. Let's get it together.
You're right.